Hello and welcome to a new video on my channel. It's been a little while. I took a break over the summer because I was working on other projects, but hopefully I'll be able to be back on YouTube a bit more frequently now. 6 months ago, I filmed a video going through sort of my sketch kit that I would take with me when I wanted to go out sketching. And since then, things have evolved a little bit. The things that I like to use have evolved a little bit. And I've also been trying to make a point of always having some sort of an art kit in my handbag, like every time I go out, just to draw more, to encourage me to draw more and to pay more attention to my surroundings when I'm out and about, and I don't know, just to live a bit of a more intentional, slower life, to have something to do when I'm waiting so that I'm not on my phone, and just to encourage me to sketch and draw, just to make it easy for myself to sketch more often and to sketch outside and to fit drawing in my life, my day-to-day life a bit more. And it's been really fun. And so I thought I would share with you today my small sketch kit that I have all the time with me in my handbag. So I'm going to switch the camera around so I can show you what's on the desk here, and I will talk you through everything. I still really like the sketch kits that I was talking about 6 months ago. I think it's still very valid. It's just my tastes have changed, and also it wasn't as practical to carry in my handbag because it was just a little bit too big for that. So I've made things a bit smaller now. So let me show you. Okay, so here is the kit. This is what I carry around with me, and most of it fits in this pouch. It's a small pouch from the brand Belroy. It's got 2 mesh pockets inside and then a bigger pocket at the back. My husband gave that to me. He bought it from himself some years ago. I don't remember why, and he was not using it. And it works perfectly for me, and it fits in my handbag really well without taking too much space. I still have space for my wallet and my phone and all of this, so it's been really great. And then these are the supplies themselves. So I have enjoyed using watercolor and colored pencils a lot lately. So this is what I have in the kit just now. And I'm going to start with the watercolor. So for watercolor, I have this really tiny palette. This is by Go Draw. It's made out of wood. This one is a tiny one. It's 5 centimeters by 5 centimeters square. And inside, this is what it looks like. So it's magnetic. So it closes with magnet, and then it holds itself open with magnets as well. And this is what I have. So I've got 15 different colors, and I will put in the description box below what the colors are that I'm using, the paints, but obviously you just use whatever you want. All of them are Winsor & Newton, except that very light one that's Buff Titanium by Daniel Smith. And then on this side it has a nice little mixing well. I really like it. As you can tell, it's been quite well used already. I need to refill some of them. I just refilled them from the little tubes and then let them dry for about 24 hours with the palette open like this, and then it's worked just fine. I've never had any issues. So let me know if you want more information about the colors exactly that I use. I'm happy to do another video on that, but I'll put the list in the description box below. And then I use it with this clip that you can just clip to hold the palette together, or to also clip it onto your sketchbook. So that's quite handy. So that's the paint, and then obviously watercolor needs water. So for that I use those 2 Pentel brushes, aqua brushes. There's those brushes that have water in the handle of the brush. I have 2 always with me. I have the larger one and the smaller one. They come in a pack of 3, although you can buy them individually. To be honest, I usually use just a larger one, no matter how small I paint, because once it's wet and all that, it comes to a very nice fine tip, so I can also paint details with that. But I kind of like to have the really tiny one as well if I want to. If anything, even if I don't use the small one so often, it works as a second water holder, and I can just swap the tips if I'm running out of water. That's been really handy. The only thing is obviously remembering to refill it when you go out, but hasn't been a problem so far, so that's okay. I also like to start my sketches in pencil, graphite pencil. So I'm using this Faber-Castell mechanical pencil, the Grip Plus 0.7. I like it because it's a bit thick, and also it has a really nice thick eraser as far as, you know, erasers go that are on the back of pencil. This one is quite big, and it's a refillable one, so you can buy refills for that. And yeah, I really like it. It's one of my favorite mechanical pencils. And then I also have this pen, although I don't really use it very much. This is the Uniball Signo Broad Pen in white. The idea is to use this for highlights, but to be fair, I don't use it very much. So I'm keeping it in my kit for now. But if, I don't know, in a few weeks or so, I realize that I really don't use it ever, I might just take it out, because there's no point in carrying something that you don't use. Also because I'll talk about it in a minute, but in my pencils, I have a white one that's actually quite nice. So I don't know. It's just, we'll see how it goes. What else? For the watercolor, I also carry this wristband. It's like a sweat band or something that you just put around your wrist. It's just towels basically. And I use this to wipe my brushes, so I don't need to have like a ton of paper towel or tissues with me. You might wonder what that is. I just put a bit of string through it and tied a knot at the end. And the reason I have that is because on my handbag I have a little carabiner, I think it's called, and on the outside of my handbag. And then once I've been using this and it's a bit like wet and damp, I just clip that onto my handbag and just, you know, let it out and let it air dry, because I don't really want to put something wet or damp back into my little case. So yeah, that's what that is. Yeah, it also needs a wash. I realized that. And then I have this, which is a color chart or color swatch, or whatever you want to call it, for the paints that are in my little paint kit. I recently changed the paints that I was used to using, like the colors, and so I've made that and I keep that with me for now. Ideally I would like to not need it, but right now I feel like I need still to reference it to figure out how to mix my colors. So yeah, it just folds in half. I put it in a pocket. It doesn't weigh anything. It doesn't take a lot of space. And then on the back, well, if you want to look, that's the colors that I have in my paint palette. And I'm really pleased with them. I'm used to using them now, so yeah, I'm really happy with them. What else? I have this. So this is a viewfinder, and it helps you kind of like figure out your composition, because when you're looking at something, obviously you see everything that's in front of your eye, but you're not going to draw everything. So you can also use your phone, you know, take a picture and figure out the composition. But I like this. I'm trying really not to be on my phone so much. And so if I can find alternatives to my phone for a lot of things, I try to do that. And so I'm using this. I also have this ruler. This is really nice because it's one of those folding rulers, and I like to use this if I'm sketching buildings primarily, or things that have an angle. I'm not very good at like being able to reproduce the right angle on the paper, and then it kind of like messes up the whole drawing. So that's a bit of just something to help me, you know, like you look at what you want to paint, measure, like place the angle, measure the angle of what it is that you see, and then just place that on the paper, and then you can have the same angle. So that's very handy for that. I found this idea from watching a video by urban sketcher Emma, or urban sketching Emma, and one of her viewers recommended that, and it's just a brilliant idea. So a little folding ruler, and then I have some clips. They're quite tiny, but they work just to clip the paper open, although I should probably get some bigger ones. I do have a little bit of paper towel just in case. Also, I use it sometimes to wipe the mixing well when it's too full. So I just put I drop a bit of water with my water brushes, and then I wipe it clean with a paper towel, so then I have more surface to work on. Because it is quite a small mixing well, so sometimes it is a little bit too small, but I wouldn't really want to have anything bigger. I don't have the space for it. Like I said, I enjoy using watercolor and pencil, and I'll come to paper in a minute. But I have this tin of pencils, and those are my absolute favorite. It's the Derwent Drawing, and I just love their color palette so much because it's nice and neutral, like earth tones and not very bright colors, which is definitely what I like. So I have this tin of 12 that I carry around with me as well. This does not fit in my little pouch, but it still fits in my bag. This is just a bit of elastic that I sewed together so that it doesn't open in my bag. But yeah, I really love these so much. And even sometimes if I want to sketch and I'm somewhere where I don't want to faff around with paint or water or whatever, and I'll just use the colored pencils, and it's been really, really nice. And because I have colored pencils, I have a little pencil sharpener. That's the mini Faber-Castell, just one hole with the container. I will say though that for these pencils specifically, not all like single hole sharpeners work because they're a little bit thicker than the norm. So I find that this one works, but I have others that are just too small. So just something to keep in mind if you want to get the Derwent drawing pencils. But yeah, this one works just fine, and it has a little bit of a container, which makes it bulkier, but also I don't want to leave pencil shavings everywhere. So yeah. And then just before I come onto paper, I have this little pouch, which I carry with me all the time, and I don't know if it's really part of my drawing kit, but I use it a lot when I'm drawing, and that's just a little pouch where I carry bird seeds. When I sit down somewhere to draw a little bit, I like sometimes to just put little seeds, and then the birds, come and say hello, and it's really nice to see them up close, and it's nice to draw them sometimes, but yeah, it just makes for a nicer, more enjoyable experience. So yeah, I carry a few bird seeds in that, and I think for the autumn I'm also going to try and get some hazelnuts for the squirrels. And yeah, so I don't know, definitely not a must in your sketch kit, but I've enjoyed using that quite a lot. Like, birds really come quite close to you, especially if you're not moving and you're just drawing. You're not that much of a threat to them, and so they will come quite close to you and say hello if you give them a few seeds. So it's been really fun. All right, in terms of paper, so in my little pouch that I was showing earlier, I always have a small sketchbook and some small loose leaves of paper. So the sketchbook is by Etcher. It's, I don't remember the size, I think it's like 7.5 by 5.5 or something. And I really like it. It's a really good size. It's really hard to find good quality paper in such a small size. I know a lot of people say just use like a cheap sketchbook when you're out and about, so you're not worried to mess it up, so it doesn't prevent you from drawing because you don't want to waste good paper. But I also find that, especially using watercolor, working on paper that is not good quality actually ruins the experience for me. Like, it doesn't make me want to draw because it's not working properly. I'm struggling with it. So even if it's for small rubbish drawings or small sketches or whatever, I do actually enjoy using good paper. And so I will try as much as I possibly can to get 100% cotton paper. And I like the cold press. I like the texture of the cold press. I'm not a big fan of the hot press. Yeah, so I have this tiny sketchbook, and I also have these loose leaves. And so these, actually, they're stuck glued on one side. These come from Light Wish. They come as a block like this. And this video is not sponsored, but they kindly gifted me this paper, as well as this sketchbook that I'll be talking about in a second, and then another sketchbook that I will show. For full transparency, Light Wish reached out to me a little while ago and offered to send me one of their new travel palette to try out. I kindly declined because I really like my setup and I'm not really looking for a new palette system. However, I had my eye on their paper for quite a while, so I asked if instead of sending me the palette, they wouldn't mind sending me the paper, which they kindly agreed to. So yes, this is the paper that I am going to be talking about here. I wouldn't recommend anything that I would not use myself. And obviously the paper and sketchbooks are gifted, but the opinions are my own. If you are curious about trying their products yourself, they're currently running an anniversary sale of up to 20% on their website. So I'll have links down below and you can have a look and try things out for yourself. So like I said, so this little sheets, I just like the idea of, I don't know, if I want to draw something and maybe give it to someone, or I like having like little blocks of sheets like that. When I feel like I might have a bit more time and I want to take another sketchbook rather than a tiny one, I want something a bit bigger to work on, and I have space in my bag and I think I'm going to have time and things like that, then I like to use this one by Lightwish. The paper is the same. It's 300 GSM, 100% cotton, and it's 195 by 130 millimeter, which is kind of in between an A5 and an A6. It's an unusual size, but I quite like it. I also like that the cover is a brown like this. I think they have other colors, but I kind of like my sketchbooks to be black or neutral. I find bright colored sketchbooks to be very distracting. And yeah, the paper inside is really, really nice. I've played around with it a bit on this one. So it's just like colored pencil over watercolor. It takes water really, really well. It takes, yeah, like that was a pool of water, and it's not buckling or anything. I was trying to mix greens because I don't have a lot of greens in my palette. And yeah, that's the colors I have in my palette. And so yeah, and I like that the pages are perforated here, so you can keep your sketches in your sketchbook if you want, but you can also take them out if you want to do that. So yeah, I'm really pleased with that sketchbook. Like I said, like this is not sponsored. They've kindly reached out to me and sent me the paper, but obviously my opinions are my own, and I really do enjoy the paper. And they sent me just one last thing, which I don't carry around with me on a day-to-day basis because obviously it's a bit bigger, but this is this binder. It's a ring bound watercolor sketchbook, where basically you have sheets like this in a binder, which you can take out. You can open the rings and take them out, and then you can buy refills as well. And again, it's the same paper. The quality is really high. I'm really, really pleased with that. So that is definitely a kind of paper that I would buy myself. And again, like I would never show products or recommend products that I would not use myself wholeheartedly. So yeah, very, very pleased with that. Thank you to Lightwish for sending this to me. I'm really enjoying that paper. Yeah, so that's what we have. Let me put things in my little pouch so you can see that it actually fits. Obviously the sketchbook doesn't fit, but I don't always carry it with me, and I do when I have space. And then the colored pencils I don't keep in that because it doesn't fit, but I do have space in my handbag. And then let's see, so in the back here I'm gonna have my swatches, and then my little paper and my paper towel and my view catcher, and then on the edge here I'm gonna clip my pins. It's kind of hard to do this with the camera in the way. There we go. In the pockets I have the wristband, and then my pencil and my white gel pen. Then I have the sketchbook, the paint. I usually put it with the magnets up because this is slightly magnetic as well, so that way it doesn't flop around in the bag, but that's not a big deal. The pencil sharpener next to it, and then my brush pens, the ruler. This is what it looks like, and then it zips up just fine. There you go. And with the pencils like this, and sometimes with this sketchbook as well. And obviously the bird seeds, we're not forgetting about the birds. So this is what I have in my sketch kit. So these two with me all the time. This one sometimes when I think I'm gonna have a bit more time and when I have space in my bag, which I usually do. And I've been really, really enjoying it. I know it's not the most minimalist kit out there. A lot of people have a really tiny palette, or they just carry a sketchbook and a pen, and that is wonderful if that works for you. I personally really enjoy having this. I don't really enjoy having just a pencil and a sketchbook and that's it. It feels very limiting for me a lot of the time. And I mean, I have this with me, and if that's all I'm able to use, I'm fine, you know, that's all right. But I do, like I was saying earlier, I really try to live a bit of a slower life and take my time a bit more, be on my phone less. And so I'm trying to find pockets of time throughout my day, or when I'm out and about, to, you know, observe, look at what's around me, draw a little something. And yeah, I've really enjoyed it. It's made me really happy. So this is what I have. I would love to hear what you carry with you. If you have art supplies with you every day, if you have more than one kit. I know I do have another one that's a little bit bigger, that has more pencils and more things that I take with me when I specifically go out drawing for the day or something like that. When I go on a little drawing adventure, I'll take slightly larger sketchbooks and things like that. But yeah, I would love to know what is in your sketch kit. If you would like to share, please leave that all in the comments below so that we can all be inspired. Yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I will hopefully be back on a very regular basis starting in September, and I'm really looking forward to it. I have plans to go on little painting adventures, sketching adventures more regularly, and explore around me, the town, Scotland, and I can't wait to take you with me. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.